Hey guys, hey everybody. It is lecture night. I missed you guys. I've been out and about and doing family stuff and just thrilled to be back. And tonight's topic, when someone never apologizes. Exquisite topic. And you ever been there? It seems like you're the one that's always doing the apologizing. You do it all the time, they don't. You know, when you think about it for a second, as kids, we were forced to apologize. Even when we weren't getting the feels, we're like, "Ah," and you're like, say you're sorry to George, sorry. And you were forced to apologize. And it kind of reminds me of when you're also a kid and you were told, don't talk to strangers. You remember that, right? And the impact of that, though, later in life, like if you're in business and you go to networking events or whatever, and you have to talk to strangers at a networking event, that theme is still there. Don't talk to strangers. So there's always something you got to overcome when you're networking. And there is something to overcome when it comes to apologizing. And, just think about that childhood distaste of saying you're sorry. And it hasn't gone away as an adult. And so this talk tonight, when people never apologize, is not about toxic people. That's not what this is about. Some people want to be right more than they want to be happy, and some people we just choose not to be in a relationship with because they never frickin' apologize, right? And so tonight really is about raising your awareness, you making the unconscious conscious for you, so you have more power in your critical thinking to assess what's really important here or what's really going on here. Because a lot of times when we want an apology, that's not really what we want at all. We just really want to express something, or something else is going on, and we think that the simple answer would be, well, they just need to apologize. That was very simple when you were 4. We're not 4 anymore, right? We're not 4 anymore. I can see you guys are showing up. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, you guys are in the house. Oh, Nadine, thank you so much. Don't you love it when you actually feel pretty? When you get to be 57 and you feel pretty, that's a really good thing, right? I see you guys are here. Hi, Patty. Hi, Terry. Kathy's in the house. Hi, Donna. Oh, muy bien, Mariela. Muy bien. Okay, let's see. Hi, Amanda. I see you guys are here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You guys are showing up perfection. So the topic tonight, hi, Arlene. Arlene. I hope you can give me a pronunciation to make sure I'm saying it right. It might be Arlene, right? Hey, Donna. It's nice to see you too. So I see you guys are here. Claire is in the house. Okay. Got to do some commercials before we get started, and we do have sponsors tonight. Very thrilled about our sponsors. It's actually a married couple. Their names are Tamara, I should say her name right. I was Tamara, when people have that Tamara name, and David Dashinger. Out of any couple that I know, these two remind me most of me and my husband, and in my world, that's a delicious compliment. They're exquisite human beings, lovely, kind, and gracious. They actually started an app. It's a free app. You can upgrade when you're in the app. It's a meditation app. And it's called, let me get the right name for it. Let's see, where do I get the name here? I pulled it up over here too. It's Loving Meditations, and it's Calm Cancer Stress. So you can get it on an app. I'll put up a link. Anything I mention, I'll make sure I put it up for you, okay? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, first-timers are showing up. Yay. Got it, Arlene. Perfect. Loving Meditations, exquisite app. And they've gone through it with cancer. And the app isn't just about cancer. It's about grief. It's about caregiving. It's about managing emotions. It's about peace. And I really wanted to highlight them tonight and share with you what they're doing, because they're just exquisite human beings and I love them dearly. And I just downloaded the app myself, and so be sure to check it out. And I also wanted to shout out one of our Facebook partners, which is AgapΩ. AgapΩ has been a sharing partner of ours here on Facebook. If you have an opportunity to check them out, please do so. Project Forgive is a non-religious, non-partisan organization. AgapΩ meets a lot of my spiritual needs around God for me, And I know everybody's different, and that's one of the reasons why I love their page so much. It's a beautiful page, so be sure to check them out. Thank you, everybody at AgapΩ, for all the support you give us at Project Forgive. If you get the chance, check out our store. We got stuff going up in our store, very low cost, on purpose. We have masks, like Kindness is Contagious masks, because in many places you still need to wear a mask, whether some grocery stores, being on the airplane, things like that. Also, we have brand new, here, let me do it like this so you can see it. Let's see. Pull back. Oh, I should see it backwards, sorry. It's our new Forgiveness Essential Oil. We had this made. It's $27. I know that feels like a lot, and our profit margin is very small because we had this blend made. It's the highest grade. It's just exquisite. It's a therapeutic grade. And for those that have gotten it, we're getting rave reviews. It even comes with a little forgiveness charm on it, that's stainless steel that you can use for other things. And we also have on our apology necklace, if you haven't gotten this, shipped it, on the back is the apology you'll never receive, which you're going to be learning a bit about tonight if you haven't already participated in it. So we'd love for you to check out our store. It deeply supports us. Also, our new monthly workshops went up. We are officially starting the monthly workshops at the end of the month, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's first come, first served. It's low cost. It's $7 or $6.99. If you cannot afford $6.99, you will not be turned away. We have folks that give us stars. Thank you for everyone that gives us stars. So we have a pool of sponsorship for folks to be able to attend if you can't afford the $6.99. And it's an actual workshop. It's not me sitting here talking at you like I do these lectures. It's deeply interactive, and we focus on the tool, accepting the apology you'll never receive. You will love that activity and actually experience it. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll connect with folks. It's an hour workshop, and we're starting that at the end of July. My fingers are crossed that all the links and everything are working right. Hailey runs our office, and she's so good at all that stuff. And when you first put up stuff, sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. So if we screw up, forgive us, we'll make it right, okay? Also, I always give away prizes at the end of tonight's lecture. I usually go for about 30 minutes or so. I'm giving away prizes. Someone's going to win. I got a package of 4 things. Someone's going to win our forgiveness mask. I'm going to get, in the same package, it's one prize, is the Stop Pain Clinical. This one's for migraine and headache. Stop Pain, the folks there are just exquisite folks. I've had so many people that suffer from migraine say this stuff really works. It's a topical gel, and you'll get instructions how to do it. You're also going to get a Merck animal pack. It's got scissors and tape and all kinds of things to keep your pet healthy. And we're going to throw in one of our forgiveness charms and put it on here so you can see it. Let's see. It's sterling silver. It takes special care. You can make it into a necklace. You can make it a zipper pull. There's lots of uses for it. And so someone's going to win that package of 4 things tonight. I'll tell you how to win it at the end of the broadcast, and it's usually putting up some kind of phrase or something at the very end. Okay, what else? If you're new, be sure to tell us. I can see folks are already saying hello, I'm new, great to have you. Thank you for the stars. Also, if you're part of a progressive company that hires virtual or live presenters to do workshops on communication, and for us that includes forgiveness in the workplace, DEI, high pressure communication. Be sure to send them our way because we work with Fortune 500 companies, government agencies, hospital systems, universities, you name it. I'll be sure to put up a link. I think that is it for the commercials. Okay, tonight, when people never apologize. Okay, this is the one thing that I've discovered. The more info that you have, the more capacity you have to be grounded, forgive people, and be happier. And the focus tonight is a paradigm shift around your expectation around apologizing, because I want you to completely alter how you see apologizing and your experience of it. Now I'm looking at myself. I just fixed my makeup before I came in. I'm just going to do that. It ain't that freaking deep, okay? Okay. All right. So, when you feel wronged or you feel that you're owed an apology, which you never get, it stirs up all kinds of feelings. Anger, resentment, you can take it out on others. I think that's where that cycle, that vicious cycle continues to play out, that hurt people. And so if your needs aren't getting met, they're going to seep out sideways, right? So here's the thing. Unpacking some info that you're not privy to because I love going to the research. I'm a researcher by trade, to grab new info, to give me better understanding so I have some new insights in this realm of making the unconscious conscious. And here's the thing. My husband rarely, if ever, apologizes. Like, it's almost like a miracle if he apologizes. And I always laugh with my girlfriends. They're like, of course my theme would be forgiveness, because I got a husband that does not apologize. Very rarely. Well, you know, after doing more and more research and looking at this conversation of people that don't apologize, I have a lot more empathy for it, and my needs have shifted. So that's what I'm hoping will happen here, okay? I see you guys are showing up new. That's wonderful. Let me get through a little bit of material, and then I'll come see what you guys are saying, okay? So here's the thing about the apologizing thing. For some people, admitting that they did something wrong is not even possible, even though they know it was wrong, and even when they feel bad about doing it. And it's a strange thing to see, and this never sorry person can actually be sorry and still refuse to utter the words that would acknowledge their remorse and right their wrong. So what's behind this phenomenon? Because this is actually a phenomenon, okay? So I've got some bullet points for you. Just as a reminder, everything I say I will put up in the notes so you can copy and paste, okay? It's all good. So you don't even need to write anything down. You'll have it. Thanks, you, Rita. I see you guys showing up. Wonderful. So apologizing, and this is according to research, reduces your self-esteem temporarily, because it takes humility to make a sincere apology. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And for some people, humility is too close to humiliation. Let me say that again. Apologizing temporarily reduces your self-esteem because it takes humility to make a sincere apology. And for some people, humility is just too uncomfortably close to humiliation, okay? And to be able to admit that we've done something wrong and apologize requires a certain level of self-esteem or ego strength. And I don't mean the bad ego that we talk about, like your ego's in the way. It takes some ego strength, just like it takes some ego strength to be a doctor, to think that you even have the moxie to go through medical school, or to even be a reporter, to that you think you can go on camera, or everyone cares about your voice. It takes some moxie or some ego strength. And for what it's worth, to those in one-sided relationships where one person is apologizing more than the other, people that are less willing to apologize also tend to be less self-compassionate, meaning their self-talk, they're pretty hard on themselves. And the research shows that across the board. So it's not a sense of superiority, like they think they're better than us, or what's up with them and their arrogance that they can't apologize. It's actually just the opposite, that unapologetic people may actually be so mired in shame of their wrongdoings that they withdraw from situations of having to apologize entirely. Well, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense to me. I can be with that, right? And so let's look at some scenarios, okay? And then I'm going to come see what your notes are saying, see what you guys are saying in the comments. So there's the person who was blamed relentlessly as a child. Anyone relate to that? And at a young age, you were told you're responsible for everything that's gone wrong and punished accordingly. And as adults, if that happened to you, you tend to go in one of two directions. Either you apologize for everything, I'm getting better at that, even for things you haven't done, or you can't apologize for anything, even things you have done. Now, for those that struggle with apologizing, for those just joining us, we're looking at the conversation, unpacking the conversation of people that never apologize. So those that struggle with apologizing decide consciously or unconsciously that they cannot accept that kind of blame. They can't do it. They've closed the door to anything that even has a whiff of it. For this sort of person, they're kind of puts them in touch with the feelings attached to their early experiences, and which deem them constantly guilty, bad, shameful. And there isn't any space left for that kind of responsibility, even when it's appropriate. Now, this is not letting someone off the hook. This is not to say, oh, then no one needs to apologize. That's not what I'm saying. This is a conversation and a lecture on understanding it, so you have more empathy to meet your needs and get what you need There's also this around this realm of people that never apologize, the fear of retaliation, the fear of being seen as imperfect, the fear of being seen as weak, especially for men. And I'm going to go into gender research here in just a second. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sandra, I'm with you. And we'll do that on another talk, like if you over apologize, how to nip that habit in the bud. How's that? We'll do that one. Let's see. Yep, I'm with you on keeping the peace, Kathy. Yep. You know what? I'm even changing the topic for next week. We'll go on this theme next week, and we'll look at over apologizing. How's that sound? I'm going to make myself a note here. Okay, perfect. Yep, you apologize. I got it, Kathleen. I'm with you. Let's see if anything. Yep, I'm just looking to see if there's something I need to address. Yep, I'm with you, Kathy. Yes, Rita, it's not that they won't. It's because the way that they're wired and put together, they can't. Now, I look at my husband in this category. My husband is an exquisite human, okay? And he can't apologize. It's like pulling teeth. It's like death. And I'm no longer taking that personally. We'll dive into that a little bit more, okay? Yeah, I'm with you. Humility is a strength. For some people, though, it's not. Yeah. And Zinzin, let me be really clear. Apologizing can reduce your self-esteem temporarily in a moment when you're in that very humble, being humble place and being at that place of humility. So it's if you were to look at a continuum, it might be in that moment like, oh, I really need to apologize to this person. I'm so sorry that I threw your computer, which I just did with my husband. And when I'm apologizing for it, I actually feel appropriate shame that I tossed his computer on the ground. More of that in just a second. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else I need to address before I move on? Yes. Perfect. Okay. So let's look at the gender research around apologizing. Men and women are so different. And there is that dichotomy of over apologizing versus rarely apologizing. A lot of studies. Women apologize more than men, hands down. Men apologize less frequently than women. There's many reasons why, but one of them is that men have a higher threshold for what constitutes offensive behavior and something that would require an apology. And women, caring more about how their actions emotionally affect people around them, has them have a lower threshold for what requires an apology. So it's just that guys have a higher threshold for situations that warrant an apology. In other words, his definition of bad or defensive behavior are dramatically different than women's definitions of bad or offensive behavior. Making sense? Now, it's not always true. I did get an email that I just want to read to you that I thought was really cool. This is a man that emailed and he said, oh boy, this is my wife of 25 years. She doesn't apologize. It used to drive me nuts. And here's what I realized. Some people only apologize when they purposely do something to hurt you. That would be true for my husband. Forgetfulness or times when they could have done more to them does not require an apology according to them. So to my wife's credit, she would never think of doing anything to hurt me, but I rarely get apologies for anything, and I'm just the opposite. So that kind of makes sense. This is just like information to put in the box of information, like, oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so here's some things to think about. It's time to be honest with yourself. Is what you're seeking an actual apology? And is the issue important enough in the larger scheme of things, or is it trivial? Okay? So it's okay to want an apology, and it's time to get clearer in your mind what precisely the issue is that you want an apology for, and then ask yourself, if I don't get an apology from this person for this issue, is it a make or break for me in this relationship? Well, is it, a line in the sand? And this is the benchmark for determining how much of a big deal it is for you. Now, if you find that it is a make or break in your relationship, you need to have those conversations. So let me get 5 years ago, I never would have shared this on Facebook. Let me tell you what just happened, okay? I didn't get permission from my husband to share it, but I think he'll be okay with it. It's a little embarrassing, okay? So, truthfully, this happened the other day. We were coming home from Costco, and I was really not in a good space. I was just very crabby. I was irritable. I was really picking at him, nitpicky. You ever been there, right? And my husband, and I was just picking and picking and picking, and I saw my husband lose it. Now, he doesn't lose it that often, but he lost it. He's walking into the house. He's carrying the Costco pizzas. There's 4 pizzas in the container. And he's so mad, he throws the container against the wall, okay? All right, 10 years ago, this would have been a big deal. Now, it wasn't too funny in the moment, although it was like, whoa, dang, he's mad. Because he doesn't throw things, okay? Well, I think I remember him throwing a gallon of milk when my kids were teenagers. They're in their 30s now, okay? So he doesn't really throw things. But I knew he was really mad when he threw that box of Costco pizzas, okay? And so here's the thing, though. Did he need to apologize for that? 10 years ago, I would have said yes. You scared me. How dare you scare me like that? You're so abusive, blah, 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 blah. No, he was just really mad and he threw a frozen pizza, okay? And it happens so rarely. Once every 10 years, something gets thrown or whatever. And it really isn't that deep. And that's what instigated this morning. I did this morning. One of my pet peeves is my husband leaves crap on the bed all the time. It drives me nuts. And it's almost like if I'm going to make the bed, I don't want to have to ask you to move your clothes because you couldn't decide what to wear today and you left it all on the bed, okay? And now I got to move everything, and then if I move it, you get mad at me because I put it in the wrong place. I cannot walk on these frickin' eggshells, okay? I'm digressing, okay? And I really want to just be real and share a real point, okay? So his clothes were on the bed, and I use my analogy. If you were cutting the lawn and I put a bunch of crap on the lawn and you had to ask me every single time to move the stuff off the lawn so you could mow the lawn, you would never do that in a kabillion years, okay? He wouldn't. He just would never do that. He'd be like, why do you have stuff on the lawn, right? So why is that different? That's an ongoing thing in our marriage that we're unpacking. And of course, the way that I respond to it just puts fire to the fuel. You get it? It just adds fuel to the fire, pardon me. So I lost it a little bit and I tossed I thought it was a notebook on the bed. I'm like, here, take this too. Well, it turns out it was his computer, okay? Oh, blasphemy. Didn't get broken. It was just tossed, like a foot off the ground. It wasn't that big of a deal. But in my mind's eye, I really had to look at what warrants an apology. Was it like, and I like to think about this stuff because I think it's kind of cool. So when he threw the pizzas at the wall in the garage, he didn't need to apologize to me. He was just, in my world, okay, everybody's different, you got it? It ain't that deep. He was just really mad and just lost it. Did I need to apologize for tossing his computer on the ground? Yeah, I did. Because that's computer, it's like a $1,200 computer. It was his laptop. In my world, I would definitely have to apologize for that. Would he agree? I don't know. We haven't had the conversation. We'll probably talk about it the next day or so. It's just neat to be able to talk about this stuff, okay? So here's what I want you to think about as we move into this last section here. I created some criteria for low, medium, high. And what I want you to think about for a second, the people in your life, how you rate them as important relationships in your life. Low, medium, and high. Like to me, low would be someone you don't see very often, more of an acquaintance like the cashier at CVS, okay? I see her, once a week. I don't really know her. I know her name, but I'm not close to her, and nor am I invested in being in a relationship with her besides kindness and seeing her. That everyone always sees my kindness as contagious masks, so people always remember me with the kindness is contagious, okay? And what if she's grumpy at CVS? Do I expect her to apologize? No, not at all, okay? What about like you're going to a graduation party, right? Everybody's in graduation parties, and your cousin's second cousin's cousin is going to be there and they spilled soda on your pants. Someone I might see every 5 years, every 3 years at an event that I can barely remember her name. if she spilled soda on my pants and she didn't apologize, I'd probably think she's rude, but it ain't that freaking deep, okay? Like, oh, yeah, not someone I'd want to dive deep into if they spilled soda on my pants and they don't apologize, right? Now let's move into, please notice when folks are starting to put in links, it's really inappropriate to put in your promotions and stuff here, especially in our lives. Don't connect with them. We'll ban them from the page. And actually, if you're listening to this, just please delete them because it's deeply inappropriate to do that, okay? Good example of setting a boundary. Sound good? Do I need her to apologize? Actually, that would be really nice, but I don't expect it. And it's low on my totem pole of apology. Got it? Okay, good. All right, so medium. So we got low, people we don't see very often, blah, 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 or, have limited relationship with. Then we've got the medium folks, medium in importance. Co-workers, I will put them as medium. Sometimes you have besties or best friends at work. That's a different category, but I'm talking mostly the people you got to work with at work, people you see periodically, maybe an auntie that you see at, I don't know, Thanksgiving or Christmas. Maybe you see her 5-7 times a year. I know it's different because of COVID, so that you used to see many times, okay? And so let's say this coworker is someone that at work that never shows up on time and always impacts your meetings, okay, whether it's on a Zoom or whatever. Is that an apology conversation? Or is it an integrity issue? Is that an apology conversation or is it an integrity issue? And to be direct is probably more of the concern. Is it about being expressed? Let me give you another example and I'll circle back for a second. Your Aunt Martha keeps calling you Debbie and your name is Deb. Aunt Martha keeps calling you Debbie and your name is Deb. You were called Debbie when you were 6, but now you're 36 and you're called Deb. You're not called Debbie and it just doesn't feel good to you. So maybe it's not an apology issue, and rather a self-expression issue for you. That's what I want you to start critically thinking about. Like, we keep thinking we need these apologies when I actually believe that comes from our childhood. That's the right thing to do, is apologize. Because apology, there's so much to an apology, so many pieces for actually connecting and deepening relationships. So if it's Aunt Martha calling you Debbie when your name is Deb, is it about being expressed? So the question I would have is be expressed, be curious, and ask questions. So let's say I'm Deb and my aunt's calling me Debbie. What would it be for me to say, Aunt Martha, it hurts that you refuse to call me Deb. That's my name. Why would you want to create animosity with me? Because that's what's happening. Are you even aware that that's what's happening? It doesn't feel good. That's getting to the nitty gritty. And usually when you're that direct, that's when an apology actually happens. Aunt Martha would say, oh, you're kidding me. You're just always going to be my little Debbie. I have to call you Debbie. I'm so sorry. My intention wasn't to hurt you or cause animosity. And, I'll work on that. I'm so sorry. Can you already see that kind of thing happening? And it came from a conversation of being expressed rather than needing an apology. High. So the high relationship. So we have low, we have medium, and now we have high. High would be someone you deeply love, you're deeply connected to, you sometimes have to interact with. It might even be an ex-husband that you have to deal with, right? Your sister or whatever. Here's the thing about the high level person in your life in terms of relationship. You know them. You can evaluate the character, the temperament of that person that you're seeking an apology from, someone that doesn't apologize. You know them better than anybody else, really. You also know if they're the type that never sees anything wrong with what they do or they lack apologizing. You already know this. And so the question is, why is this important? If they're the type that is generous with apologies, great. And what if they're not? If the person rarely apologizes and you expect it, you will come out of that conversation angrier and hurt because you'll never make headway with them. And the conversation will always leave you in knots. And that's the conversation that you hear me say all the time about making the unconscious conscious. We keep going to the hardware store to get milk. We keep going to the hardware store to get milk. And it's really important to pick and choose your battles, especially with those that you love. You can clue them in. You don't have to fester over something, especially with a partner or someone that you're close to. Remember, especially if it's a different gender, they may not see that situation as apology worthy, and or the same way that you do. So instead of assuming that they can read your mind or even your emotions, right, accurately, you can tell them exactly what happened and how you feel about it, and that you'd really appreciate an apology. I've been really practicing this with my husband. He's made a comment about, I had a suitcase, this was a few months ago, and he was so mad when he got out of bed and my luggage was on the floor, and he tripped over it, whatever. And the comment, I can't remember what the issue was, but I felt deeply disrespected how he said it. And I remember saying to him, honey, when you were doing that and doing this and you kicked the luggage, I actually felt like you were disrespecting me. And I felt this and I felt this and I felt this. And his response is, oh, really? Not even close. I am so sorry. One of those rare apologies. I'm not kidding. So taking those risks with the people that you love and really letting them know what's going on is where all the power is. And it can't come from a place of anger. You cannot be like, oh my gosh, leaving your clothes on the bed again, damn it. I could go there in a heartbeat, okay? No, there's no hot dog down that hole. The thing that's kind of neat is to be able to play with it, talk about it, not be so hard on yourself, not have to be perfect, whether it's throwing a pizza against the garage wall, a frozen pizza, or tossing. I still have to say tossing the laptop, okay, because I didn't throw it, okay? And I still have some stuff around that, like, oh geez, if I'd known it was the laptop, I never would have tossed it, right? So I still got some little self-forgiveness stuff to do there, because I don't want to behave like that. Who wants to behave like that? And if people tell you they don't do crazy stuff like this or get really mad at their partners, they're lying, okay? Because it happens. It happens in every relationship, right? It's just part of the deal. So what's the solution? The solution is always has been. It's the reason why we do what we do. It's accepting the apology you'll never receive. And I'll give you the 3 steps. I will make sure you get it. We have it on our necklace, just so you know. That's the whole point of our apology necklace, okay? The apology you'll never receive, the steps are on the back, and here's the steps, and then I'm going to walk through it for you. And this is what our workshop is about at the end of the month. We start in July. You'll be doing this activity. It's to get masterful at this skill, because I really believe forgiveness is a skill, and accepting the apology you'll never receive empowers you, so that you don't have to rely on someone to apologize to make it okay. You can rely on your own emotional intelligence to make it okay. All right, I'm going to come to the notes in just a second. Let me just come to the comments. Let me just walk through the 3 steps. So the thing is, there's 3 steps. What is the situation or the person that you'd like to have some more forgiveness? What is that thing? What is it? Second, number 2 is, if that person could apologize, what would you really like to hear? What would that apology be? Many times you do this with a person, or you write it down, right? And then the 3rd step is to actually read it out loud. So let me give you an example. I'm going to do mine with my husband for throwing the pizza, okay? Okay, so I was a little perturbed when he threw the pizza. So the situation is that he lost his temper and he threw the frozen pizzas against the garage wall. Okay, I'm picking something very simple, okay? So if he could apologize, he'd say something like, oh, honey bunny, I'm so sorry. I hit the wall. I hit the edge, literally hit the wall with the pizzas, because I was so frustrated. I was so angry. I should never have thrown the pizzas on the wall. I was at least conscious of not directing anything towards you. I just didn't know what to do with my anger at the moment. I was at my wit's end. And I know that sometimes you get scared around anger. I know it's deeply inappropriate to throw things. That's just not my MO, nor what we see as appropriate behavior in our marriage, for sure. I'm really sorry. I don't expect that to happen again anytime soon. And I'm deeply sorry that I behaved so childishly. Would you forgive me? Now, he hasn't done that or said that. I can feel that. I know that about him. I know that about me. And that feels really, really good. You can also do this with really high-level stuff. You can do it with stuff like, one of mine is survivor's guilt. My mother, my sister, my dad all died of cancer very, very, very close in time, just before COVID hit. And a lot of my apologizing has come from God. Here, let me do this really quick. And we're non-religious, non-partisan. I have a higher power. I speak to God. I know many people have different ways that we interact with a deity. All of that is welcome here. I'm just going to use my example. And many times I have God apologizing to me because my God would want to soothe me. And he's got big shoulders, right? And he'd say stuff like, "Oh, little Shawne, I'm so sorry about the pain. I know it makes no sense. I know sometimes you wish you were with them because you're the only one left. There is a method to the madness. There's a reason why this happened the way that it happened. You don't have to understand it. Maybe you never will. Just know I'm holding you preciously in my hands and I got your back. And I'm so sorry that you're dealing with all that pain." That's an apology that I'll never receive, that I say to myself many, many times, especially when I'm feeling very alone with my family being gone. Got it? The apology you'll never receive is to comfort and soothe you, to increase your emotional intelligence, to increase your capacity for empathy, not only for others, and ultimately for yourself. It's a powerful tool. Okay. See if there's anything I need to say what you're saying. Yes, let's see. Beautiful. See if there's anything that I need to say. Oh, good, Kathy. People are relating. That's wonderful. Yep. Eggshells is another great topic. Yeah, I'm with you. Perfect. Yeah. So, Kimberly, if you want to message me here, I will type out an apology for you from your sister-in-law because she might never be able to do it. And that's what true power is, true maturity, that even if someone can't, won't, doesn't apologize, you have the skills within yourself to accept the apology you'll never receive. It's so empowering because it tricks our minds, just like I can say a lemon and you can think of a lemon and actually get that sour taste in your mouth. Our brains are very powerful. And even pretending that someone apologized actually soothes you and actually feels like they apologized. When you come to our workshops, you'll actually experience it because you do it in a partnership with other people. And it really feels like someone apologized to you and it gives you peace and relief. It's a habit to practice. And it really is a beautiful, beautiful activity. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Connie. You're welcome, Tim. You're welcome, John. Okay, good. It's time for Win a Prize. Great class. Next week, just so you know, we're going to do breaking the habit of over apologizing. We're gonna break the habit of over apologizing. That's gonna be the topic next week. The week after that, just so you know, is gonna be about blame. I really wanna look at the psychology of blame. Breaking, over apologizing, blame will be the week after that, and I'll put them up weekly as they go, okay? And then the monthly workshops will be up here on Facebook too. Okay, someone's about to win a prize. I've got 4 things. I've got the Merc packet. I've got the forgiveness charm, which is so cute. I've got the stop pain, clinical migraine and headache topical gel. That's really awesome. And then of course, I've got one of our Kindness is Contagious masks. So here's how we're gonna do it. I've found a new way to do it that's working. So I'm gonna go by my feed And what you're going to do is you're going to start putting in hearts as soon as I say go. Just one heart at a time. And I think tonight it's going to be number 11. The 11th heart in my feed in the comments is going to win. The only caveat is you have to be US based. I'm sorry about that. It's cost prohibitive for us to ship outside of the country, sometimes 30 bucks, 40 bucks to ship out of the country. And so we don't ship outside of the US. I'm so sorry. You still can buy our stuff. It's all good. And but it's cost prohibitive for us shipping. So when I say go, start putting in the hearts, and I'm going to start counting. Here we go. Start putting in hearts. Number 11 is going to win. Must be US based. Let's see what we got. And I'm looking for it in the comments. It's got to be in the comments. I see lots of hearts coming up on the side. Comment in the heart. So go into a comment. Sandra, thank you for the stars. I'm looking for a heart in the comment itself. Misty's number 1. I'm looking for number 11. Donna's number 2. Keep going. We've got to get to 11. Sharon McGrill's number 3. Ashley's number 4. Number 4, we're going up to 11. Judy's number 5. Arlene is number 6. You can do it more than once. You can just keep doing it. Arlene is number 6. Kelly's number 7. Sandra's number 8. 3 more to go. Who's next? Sharon's number 9. Sharon's number 10. Who is it? Who's getting it? Sandra, it's you. All this time you've been watching on Facebook and hanging out with us at Project Forgive. I know you've never won. And Sandra, you win tonight. Woohoo! Congratulations. I believe I have your address because you buy stuff all the time and everything. You're such a big supporter. Would you just message me so I have your address right handy along with your email so we can make sure you can track the shipping. Exquisite class tonight. If you find this broadcast helpful, please share. Anytime you share us, whether it's a poster or an article, you make a difference for us because folks like General Motors get inspired to support us and sponsor us and help us get the messaging out around forgiveness in the workplace, which is a really, really cool thing. Thank you all for playing, and I'll put up the notes here. Give me 5 minutes to manage them efficiently and get them here up on the live. So thanks for being here. Next week, over apologizing. Breaking the habit of over apologizing is next week for sure. Okay, big love. See you guys soon.